Hello, Baby Gang says this is Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is my first ever playthrough of In Stars and Time. We have talked to every character except for Isabeau, and now we're going to get to talk to Isabeau now again. Now, I also know we have to talk to the king at some point again, so I think after we talk to... Is Isabeau not here? Is Isabeau maybe back at the tree then, I'd say. Sorry, bird. We'll see. Heads up today, I probably don't have like as much time today, because I said that before in another video. I don't have much time to record today. I still recorded for longer than I thought I would, but today I actually legitimately don't, which is okay. Sometimes you don't have a lot of time, but sometimes you do, so we'll see how much we get done here as well. Hello, Isabeau. Isabeau is here, probably pondering what favor to ask the tree. Hi, Isa. I need a favor to do a favor tree thing. Isa. Steve, woke up on the wrong side of the bed? I get it. Anyway, I was just looking at the favor tree. Isn't this tree cool? Cue joke. Yeah, it is. Glad you agree. One could say it's a... So we can make this joke again, right? Yes. You both laugh. Laughing uproariously, he raises his hand towards your shoulder, goes to touch you again. This is him. Trying to touch you. You freeze. His hand in the air and goes closer. His hand abruptly stops above your shoulder and goes back to his side. So now we know the meaning behind this is that they have talked about it and they don't want to touch Seafreen because they don't want to upset Seafreen. I'm gonna go soon, so you can do your thing and talk to the tree, but you want to talk before I go? Yeah, we have I finished helping everyone out. Huh? Oh, that's cool. I did see you running around with everyone earlier. It looked like fun. Oh, that's right. You didn't ask him if you need any help with this loop. Yeah, we didn't. Well, so do you need any help or anything? Help? Yes, I do need help with something, now that I'm thinking about it. Is that what you were doing today? Helping everyone out? I didn't know. I kept the best one for last. Oh, Steve, I'm glad. I was just thinking I wanted to hang out with you today, since I saw you running around with everyone. We didn't talk to me much today, so I was worried. So in this loop, we didn't talk to Isabeau about if they needed any help or anything, so now it seems like we just weren't even talking to Isabeau in a way. Yeah, you didn't want to, and that's the thing. It's like we have to be wary of that loop stuff now, because even the way, like, you know, we kind of like we weren't dismissive of Mirabelle, but we're kind of like, oh yeah, Mirabelle, see you then. I have to go. You know what I mean? It will change like our relationships in some way, right? It will. It doesn't matter. I'm glad I thought about what we could do today. Then, are you ready now? We'll probably have to go to the clock tower immediately after we're done, so I don't think you'll have time to do anything in the village after. So I'll make sure you did everything you needed to do. Hang out with Isabeau now. So this is the last one. I'm ready now. Okay, well, follow me, Steve. You follow Isabeau for a while, going through Dormont, then the forest until... a field. There's nothing around. What could he possibly need? So what do you need me to do? Huh? Lay down with me? You lay down. And then look up. You look up. Stunning, right? Stunning way of depicting the stars. Oh, such beautiful artwork. It's so pretty. Stars, stars, stars all around you. You inhale sharply. You know, when you asked me if I needed help earlier, I wasn't sure what to say. I don't need help with anything. The music is so gorgeous as well, right? And I did all I need to prepare for tomorrow and stuff. But I saw you run around and help everyone today, and that seemed kind of fun. And so I thought, Steve's making sure to help everyone today, but I just want to hang out with them. Oh my god, that's so sweet, Isabeau. That's such a sweet thing to do. And so that's it. That's all I want you to do today. Let's just hang. Oh. Oh. Why stars? Oh, so you know how to say this word when you're annoyed or something bad happens? I don't know what language is, but I always thought it was like a swear word. Like crab, a crab. And I looked up in a few books, but I couldn't find the word anywhere. And I got really curious, and one day I heard someone else say it. So I asked them to say, and they said it means stars. I noticed you know stuff about the sky. You talked about the planets once and the sun, like you really knew what you were talking about. And sometimes we slept outside, you'd spend most of the night looking at the night sky. And I thought that was interesting, because I never thought about what's up there before. But, so I thought maybe you'd like to see the stars together, or just in general. It's a beautiful thought, right? And he's like thinking, and again, here's the thing, I want to make that clear as well. Like, the other characters weren't like just thinking about themselves. I'm not saying that, because I think that like every single conversation we had always had thought about us as well. I think we just have generally just a fantastic party to roam around with. Oh no, was it wrong? Was it really more of an actual swear word like crab, where you don't actually like the stars, and stars are bad and gross? That's very sweet. Did I step in it? Did I mess up? Pause. No, you didn't step in it. Oh, phew. I got scared. Anyway, I've heard some people can see stuff in the stars sometimes, like pictures. They're called, constellations, right? Something? Constellations. Constellations! Yes, that. Do you know some? I know the Big Dipper, right? You look up at the stars. You don't recognize any of them. No, I don't know any. Huh. You're saying I didn't step in it, but... Seif. Change the subject? No, you're fine. And this is kind of like a very like sweet thing as well. The idea of like, I want to do something for somebody else, but then I wonder if like, I failed at doing something good for someone else. And I wonder if to me, like it's a very anxiety filled mind. I think we've all been there though, where we like try to do something for somebody and then like it turns out that it's actually not what they wanted after all. And you kind of feel like, oh man. It like the equivalent would be, and I never did this before, but the equivalent would be like throwing someone like a surprise party when they never wanted a surprise party. You know what I mean? And it kind of makes them a little bit more like standoffish in a way. It feels that way. But I feel like in this case, Isabeau doesn't have to worry about this with Seifried as much as he might think. Tell me something about you. Very sweet question. Okay. Well, okay, I'm from Giovante, right? I lived there my whole life. It's a nice big city. More than one house, too. Way bigger than Dormont. Big enough that you don't know the life of every person you see. Anyway, you might think it's surprising, I don't know. When I was Bonnie's age, I was like the smartest smarty pants around. Okay. Not like slightly smart or anything, but like the nerdiest kid you could imagine. Okay, that's okay. You have trouble imagining Isabeau as anything than a boisterous man he is. I mean, I think that's totally normal to not be able to imagine that as well. But one of the things that always happens, I think, all the time, and you see this like when people assess media as well, and they go like, there's no way that this kid could become this when they're older, but like who you are as a kid and who you are as an adult is like, it's vastly different. It can be so vastly different. Like, really imagine it. Big glasses, super neat braids. Okay, sounds cute. Always knows the answer to any question the teacher has. That's adorable. Always getting perfect grades. Always too shy and focused on grades to even know how to make a friend in the playground. Oh, wow. Okay, so you were even like more focused on your grades in that sense. That was me. And I didn't really like myself. What? Because, like, I was smart, but I really hated being shy. So it is that where it's that thing where it's like, oh, I have all these great features and these traits, but I hate the fact that I can't talk to people. I hate myself for not being able to talk to people, right? Being alone, yeah. Not even able to ask a classmate for a pen because I was so paralyzed by fear. That's such a interesting way to describe it as well, right? The idea of like something so trivial to a lot of us, right? I can't even ask someone for a pen. That's like an everyday occurrence in a classroom, but being too paralyzed to ask them. I was ready to spend the rest of my life like this, but one day, after years of living like this, I looked at myself and the way I was and the way I existed in this world. I looked at that kid in the mirror and I thought, is this it? Is this really who I want to be? Couldn't I just be someone else? Someone I can make friends, someone people love? To change yourself? Someone and look at the shaky eye, by the way, that's so interesting. Someone I could love. This is kind of heartbreaking in a way, right? Someone I wouldn't feel ashamed of being? Couldn't I just change? And that's one of the things people go to houses for, you know? To learn things, to train, to do bodycraft on yourself. To change. And you can stay for a bit and come back changed and no one would say a thing. They just accept the new person you become. Man, and it's also, I guess he's also saying the idea that no one would judge you for changing, right? You can just become someone different and it's just accepted as a normal part of life. Whereas like if you change yourself too quickly, I guess in normal life, in our life, people are going to notice like almost instantly, you know what I mean? So I went to one of Giovante's houses and threw myself into it. Trying to be the coolest, strongest, most dependable person around. Lifting weights, training my voice to be deeper, louder, crafting my own body to be cooler, stronger. Looking at myself in the mirror every morning yelling, I'm the coolest. And again, a shaky kind of like coolest as well, right? But it's actually a very like interesting perspective on Isabeau here. Change is destruction, you know. Some people can see that way, right? And like, the only reason I think that this is like not a crazy thing to say is because Avatar: The Last Airbender, fire can be destruction, but it can also be new life. To bring about change, you need to know you might hurt people. Interesting. Might hurt yourself even. So you always have to be careful and think whether the destruction you bring about is worth it. Again, it's the idea of an exchange as well, right? Isabeau very thoughtful in their actions, it seems here as well. I decided it was. So the person I was before, I made them disappear. It is heartbreaking in a way though, isn't it? You know what I mean? It is heartbreaking in a way. And we'll talk about this at length, obviously, as we go through the idea of change as well. But like, and the way I mean it, because like, I was definitely wrong when I said that like, oh, the idea of bodycraft scares me completely. Because then like, you know, someone rightly pointed out that like for trans people, for example, this would be such an amazing thing. And truly, yeah, that's something I didn't even think about. And for someone who is like, you know, not trans like I am, obviously went over my head a little bit. But then we have like this thing with Isabeau here. This is what more like when I thought about like, oh, I thought it could go too far. I thought about the idea of people not being happy with themselves, and it made me very sad. But I also don't want to, you know, go totally against the idea of someone wanting to be like the person that they want to be. You know what I mean? I think someone pointed out, especially when it came from the realm of like, or the lens of or the idea of trans people, is a very good way of like countering my perspective of like, oh, it goes too far. Because yeah, that makes perfect sense what someone said there. And just went over my head the idea, because I didn't even associate it with like trans, when like now I kind of do and think about it that way. But then I can also say like, you know, if someone wants to be the truer version of themselves, is that truly something that I can sit here and be like, oh, does that go too far or something like that? But I think change, if you are going to change yourself, I think change also always should be done for something that you want to do. Not because you're feeling societal pressure, not because someone makes you change. So like, for example, like we said, like with trans people, they want to be who they are on the inside, on the outside in a lot of cases. And by the way, correct me if I'm wrong, if you're someone who's trans, being like, that's not exactly how everyone feels. 100%, it could be different from person to person. And in this case with Isabeau, it's like, if Isabeau is happy with who they are now, who might ever say it's too far to change yourself? You know what I mean? Kill them with my bare hands. What a way to say it. Oh my God. It's, you know what I mean? Such a crazy phrasing. Make sure they never ever come back, so I could live. It sounds so bad when it does sound. It's the way you say it, right? I get what you're saying. It's a change and a metamorphosis to the point that like you can never go back and never look back. But the way it sounds, it's like you took yourself that a lot of people probably loved as well, and like maybe people, your family and stuff like this loved. And again, I want to make it clear, because again, I could do, if I go, you know, if Isabeau is happy with who he is now, that's perfect. Because if you're happy with who you are after your change and your transition to a new life and a new being, who you truly feel like you want to be and who you are, then I'm happy for you. That's the way things will go always. But I just wonder, like, you know, the phrasing sounded strange. But again, you know, maybe that's the way that they wanted to phrase it. The kid I was before is still here. I just grew out around them. That's a nicer way maybe of putting it, I suppose, as well. To protect them. Building an armor until it becomes the real thing. So you're saying that the armor of the Isabeau we have now is an armor protecting that child until you were hoping that this armor becomes the real you. So I could become someone strong, someone outgoing, someone comforting to be around. And this all stems, by the way, and I want to make clear, I'm not saying that this is what Isabeau wanted to be truly, but it seems like this is what they wanted to be in a way that they wanted to be more confident. They were so sad that they had no friends. When, like, I hope you get what I'm saying too, that, like, I hope that they were able to make friends and also be happy with who they are, you know? Someone I would have liked to know before. It's a very complicated situation, right? Meh. Doesn't matter that much. I'm here is what I mean. And I love myself so much more now than before. There we go. That's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. I'll support that to the very end. But even the person I'm now is a work in progress. I mean, could this be metaphorical for life as well? You're constantly working on yourself and becoming the person you want to be. And you know, I think it's not always a terrible thing to, like, have a work still to be done. I want to change still. I became big and strong and dependable, happy-go-lucky dude, but because that's who I needed to be. But lately I've been feeling like I need to let down the airhead facade. Act like stupid, that sort of stuff. Oh my god, Isabeau. Can I share something with you guys? Can we get on a level here? I don't think I act airheaded. I don't think I do, right? And I don't think anyone would call me airheaded, hopefully. Not that there's anything wrong with being a little bit of an airhead. We love airheads sometimes. But I do often get looked down upon in some aspects of life for being energetic and enthusiastic about things. And I can't change personally what my personality is. You know what I mean? I love media and art and characters and being around new art styles like this. This is amazing to me. It makes me happy. It makes me so happy. And it's one of those things where I think video games are miracles. And people might say, well, Calvin's easier on games than other people might be as well. Because, like, for me, like, it's one of those things where, like, I look at this screen right now, right? And it's like, it's a miracle that I have a controller in my hands and I'm playing such a beautiful game. It makes me so happy, right? But still, people do look at me sometimes and see me as less smart than other people because I don't just shite on things. And I'm not, like, overly critical sometimes. And that can be kind of frustrating sometimes because it's like, you know, when people think you're dumb, it's like, it's hard to, because then what happens is you can go back and say, I'm not dumb. And the first answer is always going to be, I know you're not. I didn't say you were dumb. And it's like, oh, but I know you were thinking that, right? When the way you talk to me in that way. And I know, like, it sounds like I'm like sharing, but I think it's it's good to relate things about your own person to other people too. And I feel like, you know, that's such a, you know, it hits home in a way. The idea of, like, I don't like people thinking I'm stupid either, you know? And Isabeau shouldn't have to be thought of being stupid because, like, they're happy-go-lucky and they're very happy about things and they're someone that, like, is supportive to other people. I'm not, like, saying I'm like Isabeau, you know what I mean? I'm trying to say, like, me for real. But I'm just trying to, I guess, like, relate to something that, like, you know, I totally understand in some cases. I think it happens in life a lot of times where, like, happier people are sometimes, and, like, more energetic, maybe enthusiastic people are sometimes seen as, like, it's like, okay, they're, like, not as, like, critical, or they don't think about things, like, analytically in a way. Where I don't know, like, I just don't like nitpicking. It's not fun for me. It makes me feel silly. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't change my heart when it comes to reacting to media. I'm not going to bring it up in a way that's like a criticism. It's like, you know, is there small things that, like, can annoy you sometimes? Yeah. But if they last for 30 seconds and I never see it again, who cares? You know? And it's important to be critical as well, don't get me wrong, but just, like, you know, everyone's different. Everyone's different. So it might change again soon. And it seems like Isabeau is continually changing themselves to be the person that they want to be. And right now they're feeling that they're being not looked down upon, but, like, again, that's the thing. Even if they're, like, we know the Isabeau's friends don't sit around and go, oh, he's dumb. Right? Nobody sits around and says Isabeau's dumb. But it can feel that way when people are, like, maybe like, actually, Isabeau, this is what happens, and this is this, and this is that. And people expecting you not to know something as well, for example, is something that, like, probably, like, upsets Isabeau in a way too, and becomes slightly new. That sounds cool, right? Oh, you never knew. Isabeau wanted to change to become someone else and he did it. He must have worked for so long to make his wish come true. I might change to be a mix between a jock and a nerd. A jock and nerd. Balancing it all, you know. So you change it to a jerd, a knock. Knock is a bad word in Ireland, so I'll say jerd. More like okay, more like a knock. Sounds better, doesn't it? Better mouthfeel. They both sound bad, Isa. No, don't say that. You can be a buff nerd. I like that as well. I love buff nerd. A bird. You think I'm buff? That's so sweet what they got out of that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you think I'm buff? You quickly look away from him. Anyway, after we meet up the king tomorrow and go our separate ways, I'll change it to something else. So interesting, this conversation. Someone can be both strong and smart. Both at once. What a concept. Doesn't that sound like someone cool? Doesn't that feel like someone you wouldn't feel ashamed of knowing? Is that what he thinks? That we're ashamed of knowing him? Now, as much as like I can like relate to the idea of like enthusiasm and being enthusiastic and people thinking that enthusiasm sometimes, and no, but I make it clear, like it's not you guys, by the way, and stuff, I guess, right? There's just sometimes people will see it that way. That's a terrible, I can only imagine that's a terrible feeling to have. To feel like your friends are ashamed of you? That sounds so horrible. Yes, Steve? I've never felt ashamed of knowing you, and saying that out loud, Steve, that's so important. That's so important. Not even a little bit. You're gonna make me blush, Steve. And well, you know I feel the same, right? Oh, it's so nice. You're like maybe the coolest person I know. You know that, right? This is so sweet. And I really like spending time with you. When we hang out, I always discover new things, like cool theater stuff, or even just something new about you. And I like how we always have a pun ready for any situation. They're very close, right? They're very close. How you breathe in specific ways sometimes, and I wish I could breathe with you to make you feel better. Oh, the breathing, yeah, after every battle even, right? And I like the way your face looks when you eat your favorite foods. They're noticing a lot of stuff about us. And I want to know more about you. Talk with you more. Music stopping, laugh at you more. And you can't look away from him. Whoa, is that a shooting star? Oh, really? Hey, look up. Isn't it cool? They kind of cut themselves off there, right? You look away from him and look up at the starry sky. There's no shooting star. But you don't mind. Just a way to change the subject, right? They're not ready for what they want to say. Bonnie! See, I told you to be... Oh my god, Bonnie. Oh my god, everyone showed up. You heard Isa mumble to himself about it earlier, more like. Yeah, they already heard about the plans. Hi, Stephen. Hi, Isabeau. Look at this crew. I am telling you, man. What a fantastic, supportive group to be around. Right? After all the conversations we've had with all these characters, you couldn't ask for a better party. We figured you'd be here. Can we join you? Everyone is... Oh, Isabeau. Everyone is here. Good to see you, everyone. Such a beautiful night. Was it your idea to come here, Isabeau? It was. Honor the stars, huh? How romantic. Very well done, Isabeau. What? No, it wasn't romantic at all. Just a pal's outing. A buddy's hangout. I, of course, would bring anyone of you here. Tried to avoid that idea as well, because I think that Odile knows, right? Odile definitely knows that there's something there as well. Oh, that bread looks so good. Look at the little body, by the way, adorable. Yeah, Odile knows. I brought our food, so we can eat here. A nightly picnic. Oh, I guess we'll samosas. Yummy. Yeah, I made a lot. Free, take one. Take two even. You deserve it. I deserve it? Oh yeah, because we talked to everybody, right? Seafried sure worked hard today, didn't they? Thank you for your help earlier. You jump. Yes, thank you, Seafried. You've been a great help today. Freen taught me how to fight. I'll be able to help you tomorrow. Oh, I'm looking forward to it, Bonnie. So did Freen help you today too? You freeze. Did you? Oh my god, look at his eyes. Of course Steve helped me today. Isabeau's looking at you, smiling brightly. Thank you for spending time with Steve. It was my pleasure in every single way, shape, or form. What a beautiful scene. You hide your face beneath the rim of your hat. Probably, we're probably like feeling it too. A lot of emotions. How wonderful. Thank you, a great helper. Here, have another samosa. I'd love a samosa right now. Have some pate and bread. I'm sure you want some tea too. Here's some of my curry. Your plate is overflowing. Oh, look at the love they have for Seafried right now. You see everything on your plate is sway back and forth. You eat as much as possible before everything falls down. You burp. Ew. Oh, can we just stay in this moment forever? Would that be okay? Huh. Nice reflexes, Seafried. Everyone starts laughing happily. We need to stay in this moment forever. And actually, no, that goes against, that's what the king wants. The king wants these beautiful moments to be encased forever and never to leave, right? The king wants that. The king wants us at our happiest and our most joyous to stay in those moments. And we can't have that, you know? You laugh too. You're surrounded by your allies. Your heart lifts. You love them. Oh my god, this game. They're a perfect group of characters. They really are a perfect party. You're glad you got to spend time with them. This is stunning. This is absolutely beautiful. You're glad you know them better. It was four beautiful sequences that we took our time on. You're glad. Friend, you okay? Want some more snacks? You smile. Yes, please. Then eat. Eat as much as you want. You all ate and laughed under the stars. Tomorrow, once again, you'll go into the house and fight the king. But today you're happy. That's the whole point, isn't it, right? Like, it's about the future is coming at us like a freight train. Where I think we can loop forward towards the king, right? For sure. Yeah, the scene there with Isabeau, and like, I hope no one minded me like kind of like relating to Isabeau in some aspects of the idea of like people thinking that like sometimes you can be dumb and stuff as well. And things like that, because you are like maybe more enthusiastic than other people about stuff and things like this. And there's nothing wrong with being critical, as I said as well. There's nothing wrong with being more enthusiastic. But yeah, I think like it's a very difficult conversation, probably the most difficult conversation we had with Isabeau there. It is a conversation with someone who wants to change and wants to be something different so they can like grow and change and they still feel like they still have a lot to change about themselves. My point about change previously was that I want people to be who they want to be, and I don't want people to feel down about themselves. Mirabelle is so proud of who they are, so the idea of not changing makes sense. But for Isabeau is much happier now than they were when they were a kid, so who am I to sit here and say that you're wrong for wanting to change? You know what I mean? Because again, and I hate, you know, I think it's one of those things where it's like, I'm not trying to always bring up like the idea of like this relating to the idea of trans people. But like, you know, it definitely did like, I think sometimes that's important having a community around you, because like, you know, and not having a bubble around you as well. Because while like I've always like been, you know, as you guys know, so supportive of trans people and the idea of change and stuff like this as well, I think that one, you know, the idea of like trans people changing and you know, the idea of bodycraft becoming something that you're proud to be and what you want to be and who you are inside and who you feel like you always should be, is something very beautiful in a way too, right? It is. Just like say with Mirabelle not wanting to change, that's okay too. That's okay as well. And that's why I want to say that I think like it's important to like that I get to converse with you guys about this stuff and not live in a bubble surrounding like my own views or my own viewpoints. Because then like even like then when someone like reminds you of something, you're like, oh, and it changes your viewpoint on stuff. I think that's so important. In this case, Isabeau is happier now that they say they're happier now than they were before. And now they want to change again. There's someone who's constantly trying to find out who they really are and who they truly want to be. I don't think that's an absolutely terrible thing either. I want to say, make clear, like, what I say, like, because you guys know, like, again, I don't even have to say it. I always, like, I have to be clear, but people know that, like, I'm 100%, you know, supporter of trans rights no matter what. But I just didn't think about it at the time. And that not only changed my perspective on the idea of like from a trans perspective, but also just from like the game perspective. I was like, oh yeah, like yeah, I can think like, oh, maybe people are gonna like, because my perspective was like, I don't want people to change because they're forced to or that they have to. I want people to change because they want to, and that's why I thought it could go too far. But now my perspective is like, it seems like it is like a force for good and change in people that do want to change, while also we can look at it from the perspective of like trying to save people like Mirabelle from changing who don't want to change, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I mean as well. But Isabeau's conversation was so interesting. It was such like a deep conversation, and I feel like it really did like like open my eyes to how Isabeau was feeling at this moment. And again, once again, a character like Isabeau, who is like the kind of the support beam of the group, someone who like is very supportive of everybody. It's someone who like keeps the mood, like keeps the mood and at a certain level in the group. But they're also someone you should check in on at the same time too, right? For sure. So we can advance this forward, but I think we're going to be looping forward to the king, right? Because we have to talk to the king. At least that's what I think. You had a nice time yesterday hanging out with Isabeau under the stars. You got a memory of stargazing. You'll all remember this. Always remember this. Hi, Stardust. I didn't want to drop a full, but you got a new memory. Oh, that's so beautiful. Luke was like, I don't want to like, you're having a really fun conversation. I don't want to ruin it right now. When equipped, memory stargazing boosts all your fighter's stats by 30. Wow! Your fighter also learned the skill We Will Win. We Will Win is amazingly strong. When used, it boosts everyone's attack. Whoa. It's so strong you'll only be able to use it when you and your fighter have this exact conversation. So if you look back to Dormont, you'll have to talk to them all over again, which is actually very easy. Remember that, okay? But hey, Stardust, it was nice, wasn't it? Hanging out with all of them yesterday. They love you now. Your bond with them is stronger now. Isn't that neat? It is neat. You don't want to have to loop back before you spend time with them. What would happen if you stayed with this version of them until the end? If you went through the entire house without looping ahead, beat the king and saw... Wait. Would anything happen? Would anything change? So don't loop ahead. Okay, game, I'll listen. Yeah, we won't loop ahead. Yeah, it's such a beautiful sequence there. And I love the way Loop like is giving us like an idea of like what we could do as well. The idea of like a like, hey, like I understand that let's see here. It's like I like Loop kind of like left us off there to kind of like where are we looking here? Stargazing. Loop kind of let us off there a bit as well until the next day, which I think is also a very sweet thing as well. Memory of First Strike. I kind of like First Strike, right? $30 stats is great, but I think we're gonna do first. I think we're gonna do First Strike still. It's a really good move there as well. Mirabelle. What's Mirabelle equipped right now? Memory of Faith. $30 stats. Yeah, we'll have that there for now. And we'll see where we go with this as well. Yeah, I'll go through the whole house again as well. 100%. Up ahead, that's the same sadness as usual. A sadness, huh? The house must be crawling with them. Okay, everyone, let's, so you can fast forward through this as well. Here again. What should we do so we can skip it? I think we did get, like, skipping it makes sense. I know it's bad, but, like... The reason why I want to skip it is because like last time they actually make you go through the entire conversation again, which is crazy, you know what I mean? Everyone feels faster. Craft, and it's it should be, let's see, let's guard, craft, turn it up to Isabeau, craft, and we do a smash. Yeah, we're doing pretty good here. Yeah, everything's gonna be okay. And we have to remember to like watch out for stuff as well, like the trap here too. It's gonna be very interesting going through this whole thing again, but I think that's obviously like the intention, right? It's very interesting. Because, again, the game wouldn't have said that if it didn't want us to go through it again, right? For sure. Like, it's definitely a hint of some kind. At least from my perspective, it is. And look, we can maybe, like, gain some experience as well. Will that experience add on to our party members as well? You breathe in and out. There we go. Yeah, and the battles are really fun in this game too. Yeah, it's so interesting as well, like how different this feels, right? Whilst we're looping in the same area, I feel like our relationship with these characters are different. Our feeling around these characters is different. We're closer emotionally. So this is a whole different vibe. They have new movesets and everything. Like it does change depending on like, where you are in the loop, right? We're so much closer now than we even were before. And you know what's crazy now? And maybe this is also something you guys felt as you were going through the loop again as well. When you were going through the loop too, is that this place felt like the furthest place because we spent so long in Dorm 1 and when we got to here, it felt like the furthest place. And I think that's so normal for something that kills us beyond this door. We died beyond this door. I feel like it's so normal to feel like this is the furthest place ever, even though it wasn't that far. You know what I mean? I know beyond the door is the first place we died. Well, we already saw this stuff. So it feels like it went really far. But in reality, it didn't. Yeah, let's get our tonics as well, 100%. I hope I'm making sense of what I'm saying here. Like, not just about like the change in the party now, like the emotions and stuff as well, but even looking at the like knowing that we're about to unlock a door where I died before. There's a weird energy about it, right? And I think you would feel the way if you can. And imagine how we feel as a player, but how like Seafreen feels, right? Seafreen has gotten so far so many times, and has had to die and loop back, right? It's so interesting, like how you would feel in that moment. Coming into a room like this where before we died because we didn't the trap was if we die here if we're too calm, right, and we feel like we're safe, you start walking away. Let's go, everyone. Okay, we're gonna look so incredible doing this stuff. Now we have to remember all the different things, so like let's just make sure we're searching everything, right? For sure, like different rooms and different keys and stuff, I guess, for sure. Oh, we also have that badge that gives us more memories. We might put that on, because that would be a good idea to do that now, wouldn't it? Someone reminded me of that, too. Good damage there as well. I don't think we even need to use We Will Win just yet. And now they're weak to scissors, right? Palm. Yeah, this game is so interesting. I was super. I'm not gonna lie, you guys kind of heard me earlier when I was saying, like in the previous episode, I was like, I'll let you guys know if this loop and stuff ever feels weird to me. You know, it ever feels bad to me. And so far, like I think they're doing the looping thing like really well. But also, it's just like so interesting how like I feel different. I feel different playing this part of the loop. Like it feels so different. Oh, we have to put on that badge. I forgot as well to get more memory. We're still getting memories from this, which again is good. It's good to get some more memories. I think they thought of this too. This is actually a really good design choice as well to have this here too. Because they probably knew we were going to be doing more battles as well. I don't know why it chose Mirabelle, but... But they're going to be vulnerable after this attack anyway. Yeah, and now they're weak to scissors. And I think that's so important as well. Now that we had all our conversations with these characters, not only is there like a physical change and like there's a battle change as well, these characters are also like, you know, all closer. They're all much closer. The last time we went into this castle, we did not understand why Bonnie was distant with us. We did not understand why, Isabeau's personality and how they felt about the personality. We didn't understand what Odile was looking for in terms of their life and their past and trying to find out who they were. And we also didn't understand Mirabel's feeling on change in general. Like, we understand so much more, which makes, like, these moments, I feel like, for me, mean a lot more as well. We died here before as well, didn't we? Yep. There we go. Well, let's go inside then. And we get like some vials as well. We're closer now. We're closer now than we even were before, but now we get to see it, you know? I feel like the respect for Seafriend, which was already like high enough, feels even higher now, right? Now we have an attack boost as well. What a shot, by the way. Incredible stuff, Mirabel. Incredible stuff. Right? Like, it's truly incredible stuff. What was down here again? Oh, this was this room with the sunshine, right? The weird sadness. Buy one, get one free is a great name for something, by the way. It's fantastic. I feel like even now, what's really cool about making a loop game is that whilst we're also like, you know, our characters are getting stronger, we're learning the mechanics more. So while our character is Seafriend's getting more experience, we're also getting more experience ourselves. It's a really cool way of doing this. Yeah, they've done the loop really well. Really, really well. Let's start with pretty buffy friend. Buff everything up here. Let's do a critical hits here as well. Let's do a we will win. Here's the thing though, like, I wonder if we should like get rid of like all of the other stat boosts for like, say, like, you know, boosting our attack and like the one that builds our speed up at the start, and replace it just with Isabeau's move, because that would make more sense, right? I'm thinking. Maybe, we'll try that. And then we can boost like some stats as well. That one bites us. You see, everything's smoother now. Everything's so smooth. I also want to then check out the equipment then for these characters. So say for like first, memory of looping is cool. We have memories of keys. Oh, okay. Memory of defeat. I think we should equip this for now. 100%. For Mirabel, memory of fate is good. For, I think it's Odile, memory of first strike. So instead of first strike, maybe do paper V or secret. Yes. So you can boost their stats in this way too. Yes. I forget what was down here though. I remember. Those were tears. The villagers don't want to call them tears, and if you touch them, you're frozen in time. A good thing we found this crest then. This is key. Ow! You hit your hip with a counter again. Oh my god. Seafriend, did you really hit your counter saying yeah? You did. Yes. Sieve. Cat Sieve. I said this before, but hitting your hip on something as you're walking by it, one of the most painful experiences ever. Have you ever hit your hip on like a door handle? Oh my god, painful. A kitchen closet, you open it, found the egg key, you put the egg key in your pocket. There we go. No, I guess we found the other answer before. Cookies, they're frozen in time. A pot filled with bubbling food, frozen in time. The steam is frozen midair. So that's another thing we heard before. And that was about the crabs being infinite, right? Here. What? What is it? Wok. Bonnie points to a big, thin cooking pot. A wok. A wok. Yes, that's a wok. Wok. You got a wok. You give it to wok. Oh, nice. Okay. Did we not already have that? Or I guess you have to find those equipment again, maybe? I'd say. I know why, man. Like, I was so worried about looping again. I really was. But, like, the energy of this is, like, actually great. It feels like I'm looping. It doesn't just feel like I'm doing the same thing again. It feels like I'm, like, in a game about loops. You know what I mean? It feels like I'm actually in a world with looping. It feels like I'm more experienced. It feels like I'm, like, I understand maybe a little bit what like... Obviously, I'm never going to truly understand. Oh, we can go back and save in a minute, actually. Let's go get this stuff as well. Not that I can truly fully understand, obviously, what Steve was going through. I don't think you will. Oh, we can get this as well, right? Look at the wall. There's... And it disappears. Nothing. It's just no... I love that it's just like, hey, it changes reality to the point that Bonnie's like, oh, there's nothing. That's so strange, right? An anvil sharpening stone forge. We didn't know this before. Sharpening stone for the key knife. Oh, yes. You have to remember to pick up all the other stuff we have as well, right? In the other floors. When you get it back, that is. You give it to Bonnie for safekeeping, right? We're going to have to remember to pick up all the other stuff on the other floors before we move on as well. There's stuff on the second floor. I believe there's stuff on the other floors, right? 100%. I think you want some paper, if I'm being honest with you, Tristus. Tristus, I think you want some paper. But you see what I mean? When we get to, we can do turn it up, do this, and then do this. I love that frame. It's so good. Did that boost our stats then? Or maybe, oh my god, what a critical hit. Maybe I read that wrong possibly. It could be a possibility. Can we check out the moves at least? We just don't see it all, I guess. Okay. Like 5 turns is a lot. 5 turns is a whole hell of a lot. So again, we have to use scissors here as well. Nice stuff again. And again, we're getting those memories too, which is going to be super important, I feel like. And now we also got to get the stuff in the storage room. We were able to get the stuff in the storage room as well. Scissors again for this guy, right? Lovely stuff. This was... There's something over here. A dresser with art books on top of it. You open the drawer. You found a broken egg key. The keychain dangling from a shape like an egg, broken in half. You put the key in your pocket. In someone's drawer. Is there anything else here we can interact with? A closet haphazardly filled with art books and notebooks and art supplies. And, oh, there's a crumpled pile of hand-drawn cards. Pick one? Yes. You pick a card at random. The card is a drawing of a pair of scissors. The bottom says 2 of swords. You got the drawn card. You put the card in your pocket with your souvenirs. Some notes. The handwriting is so terrible you can barely read what's on it. A nice, comfy-looking bed. Okay. And what was in here again? Oh, there's some vials over here as well. Some sort of candle making station. I have no idea what this smells like. Apples and cinnamon. Pie smell? Pie smell. Pie smell. That's very sweet. Instructions how to craft candles. Oh my god, I I had a cookies and cream candle one time, and I had a cinnamon candle. Oh my god, it was so lovely. It was so nice. Craftology book? Pearson Craft, Creative Craft. Where's the protecting... Oh. It's a craftology book, not a craftology book. This one's about the study of craft, not your fortune. Heh. It's the same conversation we had before as well. You like being able to be near them and not have to contribute to the conversation. We talked about this before as well. Being silent surrounded by people you like is nice. This is something I love that line because it's so true. It's like there's so many people in life that like don't want to like contribute to the conversation but still love to just be there, you know, and be in the moment. Oh, this guy. I remember this guy. Holy hell. Scissors is what we need, right? And slow. I think that this is, again, mechanically such a fantastic enemy to fight because I genuinely think it's made so that you learn how to like actually play the game. I know it sounds weird. It's like, hey, like learn how to do buffs, learn how to do stats, learn how to defend yourself, all this stuff. Like it makes perfect sense that this is what they that they're using, right? Like it makes perfect sense to me. Nice critical as well. Come on, Bonnie. I'm gonna get the perfect attack here as well. And even that perfect attack looks amazing because everyone's so close to each other now as well, right? It's so cool. So cool. We probably actually gained quite a bit of memories from this too, right? For sure. I wonder, okay, so like they said to go through the, and I have no problem going through the, because this is way quicker than we did before, right? I think this like took us like so long last time to go through where we even went through here. Topped them off. Nice little stat boost there for ourselves. Lovely bit of damage there. Come on, body. Oh my god, they're so peaceful looking. It's okay, Bonnie. It's okay. Whoa! Yes, Bonnie! The four-sided cross is so weak. Fantastic. Love that for Bonnie. Where was this again? This area here. Okay. Okay, so this is paper again. We don't need to do the actual main stats. We can just attack, right? Yeah, because we're trying to get to a save point now anyway. Honestly. Before we go to the next floor. Yep. They will let us go back and save here, right? I think they will. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, let's talk about what happened in this episode again. We talked at length about the stuff with Isabeau, so like I won't obviously like retread a lot of the stuff I said. But I saved twice just to be careful. But I think that like what like was so interesting about this is that like, you know, perspective changes as you learn more about people, and I think perspective changes as you go on in the game, and things that I didn't fully understand before, like all these characters, I'm understanding more even now as well. Like Isabeau is a character who it was like the mood maker of the team, who is the mood maker of the team. But that can, I know it sounds weird to say, but that could be a heavy burden for some people as well, to have to be the one that like cheers everyone up, has to be the one that everyone wants to like look up to, has to be the one that makes everyone happy, because you feel, and then you fall into that role to the point that like, as the way Isabeau was saying it, Isabeau's like, I don't want to be perceived as dumb anymore. So like, and sometimes I even put on the idea of being an airhead because it makes people happy and it makes people feel good. Oh, they have, you know, kind and sweet Isabeau around, but I want to be other things than that as well. And that can be like a thing where it's like, that can be, I can only imagine how like, having to put on a facade to make people happy would feel awful, I guess, as well. Because the part I related to a lot was the idea of like, your enthusiasm is sometimes seen as stupidity to some people, because a lot of people like, think that like being serious and stuff, I guess, is the way to be smart and all this stuff. When in reality, I feel like, in life, I'm not just saying me, but like in every walk of life and every person, there's different types of intelligence. And I always used to say this, like, when I was like, even in school, like, like there was dudes who were like super good at maths, but by God, if you put them in front of an English essay, they wouldn't know what to do. But I was good at doing the English essays, but if you put me in front of a maths equation, I'm drowning. You know what I mean? It's like so different. Everyone's like different in terms of like what they do and what they're good at. Another example would be like the idea of like, even like with I guess like you could say like with like even like with video game stuff, it's like I love that I'm good at like rhythm games. I love it's something I'm really good at. But you put someone else in front of a rhythm game, they don't know what to do. Also, there's also the thing as well, if you put me in front of a I'm trying to think of what genre I'm really, really bad at. Let's be honest, you put me in like a full-on like puzzle game, right? I can sometimes struggle. Now, some people might say, well, Calvin, I've seen you play puzzle games and like you're not too bad. But I feel like I'm not great at it. I feel like I'm not great at that stuff as well. Maybe the better example would be like first-person shooters or something like that. I'm not great at first-person shooters. And I feel like there's different talents across everything. But like from Isabeau's perspective, what Isabeau was feeling was this idea of like, I have to keep up this front for people. Now, again, I've never felt that personally. Like I said, the part I said I related to was the people, perceiving you as being too enthusiastic. But from Isabeau's perspective, it's very clear that like they feel like they're happier now than they ever have been, but they're still not truly fully happy with who they are, because right now they're kind of like, I guess, losing their love with who like they're perceived as, I guess in a way too. It's a very complicated conversation that they had there, right? It's very complicated, and I feel like it's a very important conversation for Isabeau as well, because Isabeau was not only able to open up to us, but we were able to understand Isabeau on a level now that is so different from what we thought. Isabeau was a mood maker for me as well, not just for the game, for these characters. Isabeau was like, oh, no matter what's happening, no matter what scary stuff is happening, if I go up to Isabeau now, smile on their face, let's laugh about some puns. And I feel like they were like that for a lot of characters. They're like for Mirabelle, Isabeau was like, I'm going to joke around with you and have like talk about love and romance and stuff, I guess, with Bonnie kind of being that caring, supportive, which they are caring and supportive, but I feel like they were, again, like I said, a mood maker for the group. And I think they always will be a mood maker for the group, but they also want to be perceived as something different. So they said once this is all over, they're going to change again. And it's okay, I think, to feel sad in a way where you're like it's sad that they had to change to like really like make friends or to find people that they want to be. But I think there's also something to the idea of like someone not feeling like they truly are their happiest self, changing themselves, in a way physically and stuff like this, and then feeling way happier with themselves in that moment as well. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where like Isabeau's buff. Isabeau's changed their appearance. Isabeau's changed the way their outlook on life, the way they study, the way they look at things, and they are happier now than they were before. But someone else might come along and be like, it's not the same size fits all. Someone else might be like, you should lift some weights, and you'll probably be happier. If you're miserable after doing that, even when you have all your muscles, then it wasn't the change for you. You know what I mean? That's not the change you needed. And I feel like that's also an important thing to say as well. But I thought the conversation with Isabeau was so interesting in that sense, because it was about the idea of change and wanted change, but also how you're perceived, the facade, I guess. And I think, we can read into the idea of facade so much, right? And say that they're not being true to everybody. But I think genuinely, like, the facade, what they're talking about is not their enthusiasm or their happiness. It's the facade of not knowing stuff all the time, where they probably feel like that it's easier to let someone explain something to them and make them feel a bit better about something and feel like, okay, I'm the one who doesn't know that much stuff. Let's all have a laugh about it. Instead of like being like, I know. And like I said, like it's tough to think about, but I do think that Isabeau is like a fantastic character in that sense, I hope it makes sense what I'm trying to say through all this as well. And of course, like, you guys will always give some great insight to this stuff too. But I think that like the most like not the most interesting, but like the most like intricate like conversation was with Isabeau, because navigating the idea of change and someone wanting to change can be very difficult. But what you have to understand is that like it's about someone's happiness truly in the end, and it's about someone being happy. And I feel like if Isabeau can be happy through change in some way, then that's a good thing. And like I said, like, you know, this game is really good at changing my feelings. Having conversations with you guys is a good thing at changing my feelings about things as well, and like and making me aware of like things that maybe went over my head in some ways too. And I think that's always a good thing too. And I feel like now I look at the idea of the House of Change in so many different facets, where it's like I look at it from Isabeau's perspective, where it's like, yes, she doesn't have to change. While with Isabeau, it's like, oh, maybe Mirabelle doesn't have to change, and Isabeau wants to change to be happier, and they already feel happier. So it's like, who am I to say either way is wrong, really? And I think that's so cool the way the game has changed our perspective. Now we're looping back through the house, by the way, and I actually find this to be so interesting as well, because the house feels different to me because we're closer with our friends. We've seen this kind of like what makes them like take it away, their emotions, why they felt a certain way about us. You know, we talk about how Mirabelle felt, how Bonnie felt, how Odile felt, and how Isabeau felt, and now we're going through this place together again, closer than we ever have been, more trust in Seafreen than there ever has been. Not that I didn't trust Seafreen before, but it feels like it feels different. Going through the house feels different now, and I feel like it's going to be an exciting thing to see where that goes as well. Thank you guys for watching this video. I think it was a very like intricate conversation with Isabeau, and I definitely want to hear your feelings on it too. I want to say thank you so much to Never Can Repay the Baby Gangster on Patreon for being so cool. Do I have it here? Typhar 2, Jamie Bull, Janet Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Delicious Felix, Yuled, Radish, Anusta, Death Trap, Lynx Markey, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Heck, Leon, Hike Sparing, Jared B&M at the High Streamer YouTube, World Game 7, and Blaska. I'll see you all so soon. Bye bye.